I'm Anil Kumar sharing with you a test question on simplifying rational expressions. The question here is simplify and state restrictions of 10 over a square minus 4 divided by 6a divided by a plus 2 minus 4 over a minus 2. Now this is extremely good question. I'd like you to pause the video, answer and then look into my suggestion. So we'll simplify this first, then find restrictions. But let me begin with restrictions and then we'll conclude. Okay. So the rational function has numerator and denominator. This is 4 layers. Multi-layer fractions you can see here, right? Now in the denominator, we can never have 0. So a plus 2 will give you 0 at a equals to minus 2. A minus 2 will give you 0 for a equals to 2. A square minus 4 will be 0 for plus minus 2. So clearly, one restriction which we get here is a is not equal to plus minus 2, since that will make these denominators 0. We might have more restrictions, right? We might have more restrictions, which we'll find out after simplifying the denominator part, correct? Now, let's continue to simplify this particular expression. The expression given to us is 10 over a square minus 4 divided by 6a over a plus 2 minus 4 over a minus 2. Now, what we can do is, we can separately do the denominator and then fill it in here. But in this particular video, I'll just continue using numerator as such, and then we'll simplify and then replace. Okay. So what we have here is numerator 10 over a square minus 4, and in denominator, let me take this as a common factor. So we'll kind of cross multiply, right? So when you cross multiply, you get denominator as a plus 2 times a minus 2. A minus 2 gets multiplied by 6a, right, minus 4 times a plus 2, right, a plus 2. Now, we can simplify this part. So we have 10 over a square minus 4. To simplify this part, let's expand. 6a square minus 12a, right, minus 4a and minus 8. Divided by, when you multiply these two, you get a square minus 4, correct? Now, it is 10 divided by a square minus 4, and this is 6a square minus 12a minus 4a plus 8 divided by a square minus 4. So these denominators, they cancel off, right? So what you're left with is 10 divided by all this. Let me combine these two terms and write this as 6a square minus 12 and 4 is 16a plus 8. Now, we could write 6a square 16a plus 8. We could factor 2 from here, right? So let me factor 2 and rewrite the expression as 10 divided by 2 times 3a square minus 8a plus 4, right? So that is how we get. Now 10 divided by 2 is 5, so I'll write this as 5 divided by 3a square minus 8a plus 4. So that becomes simplified version, right? So that is the first part. So we have simplified the given expression, and that's our solution. Now, for the restrictions, we do have two restrictions. One is that x is not equal to plus and minus 2, since we could have got 0 because of these factors. The other one could be because of 3a square minus 8a plus 4. So what we will now do is, in this particular space, let me use this space now, to find restriction because of 3a square minus 8a plus 4. Now this is a quadratic equation, so what will be zeros here? So a value should be equal to minus b, that means minus of minus 8, plus minus b square, which is minus 8 square, minus 4 times a, which is 3, times c, which is I think I did a mistake here. When you multiply minus 4 by plus 2, you get minus 8, not plus 8. So let me just make this correction. So when I divide, take 2 common, it should be minus 4. Okay, so minus 4. So it is minus 4 times minus 4. Square root divided by 2 times a is 3. Right? So we can get the values of a which are going to make the denominator 0. Now those values are also part of restriction, right? So let's use calculator to find those values. So let me find the value of square root first. We know in the numerator we have 8 here plus minus. Within square root, let us say what we have. This is square root. Within square root is minus 8 square, which is 64. So I'm just writing 64. Minus times minus is plus. So let me write plus. 4 times 4 times 3. So I'll write 4 times 4 times 3 equals 2. So the square root is 4 square root 7. Okay, so let me write square root 4 square root 7 for the time being here. Divided by 6. This is what we have, right? So these are also the restrictions, because these values of a will actually give you 0 for denominator. You get the idea. So the other restrictions for us are that x is not equal to, so I should not write x, I should write a, I'm sorry. So a is not equal to 8 plus minus. Well, this could be simplified. We could divide each by 2. So we get 4 plus minus 2 square root of 7 divided by 3, right? So let me write this as 4 plus minus 2 square root of 7 divided by 3, right? So that becomes part of our restriction. So though we have 4 restrictions for the given rational expression. I'd like you to go through this video once again. So first, when we begin with a rational function, we know that the denominator cannot be 0. So denominator here is a square minus 4. Here is product of a plus 2 and a minus 2. That leads to 2 restrictions. Now you can simplify. After simplifying again, we do get some simplified denominator. We'll equate that also for 0, since that also is a part of restriction, correct? So that in this particular case, we get 3a square minus 8a minus 4. Since this cannot be further factored with normal techniques, we used quadratic formula to find the zeros. And the zeros for us are 4 plus minus 2 square root 7 by 3. So a cannot be those values also, right? So let me rewrite this simplified version, which is 5 divided by 3a square minus 8a minus 4. I hope that helps. Thank you and all the best.